Hello everyone, and welcome to this dungeon guide for Darkshade Caverns. My name is Geraint and I'll be your host for this guide. The Darkshade Caverns dungeon is located in the Deshan area of the Evenheart Pact. The recommended level range for this dungeon is level 20 to 23. Darkshade Caverns features mainly Dunmer, Quama and some other critters, as well as Dwemer machinations at the end of the dungeon. Also be advised that at the time of this recording, all members of the dungeon guide group are of high veteran rank, so certain encounters might look easier as when playing this dungeon at the recommended level range. Alright, let's get started by introducing the members of my group, all of them fellow Alith members. This time I am accompanied by Turambar, as well as Ukli Hellskite, and last but not least, Dark Intent. Okay, the first trash mob group you will encounter consists of Dunmer. Watch out for the archers, they can do heavy damage with the ranged area abilities. Right after that one, yet another of them need to be eliminated. Try to take care of the healers first to quicken the whole fight. After that group, only a stone's throw away, the third Dunmer trash mob group is ready for a fight. If you had no problems with the two before, this one shouldn't be either, but take note that you now have two healers to face off with, so again focus on them first if possible. The group of three you are now facing is set up this way that the middle one of the three is a bit stronger and the left one is a healer, but this small group should be no showstopper for your group at all. You will now enter the Quama area. While the small Quamas look peaceful and neutral, they will attack as soon as the big Quama spots your group and engages combat. Try to AoE all of them down if possible, and watch out for the small ones' rundown abilities. There are two of those Quama trash packs before you can face the first boss of Darkshade Caverns. Head Shepherd Niloran, a Dunmer healer archetype, is flanked by two healer guards as well as some Quama adds. The Quama can get dangerous with their already known rundown ability, so focus on them first while the tank takes over Head Shepherd Niloran. The Quama will get healed by the boss and his two guards, but their health pool is low, so finish them off quickly and then move over to kill the two guards. Even though Niloran is mainly a healer, her main attack is a flame pool spell that creates two circle-formed pools of fire. As the area where the fight takes place is very small sized, take care to not stand inside of the flame pools. It's maybe best to spread out a little so not more than one gets trapped by the pools. The encounter should be easier once all the adds are down, of course. Be prepared to interrupt or shield bash Nelaran every time she starts to cast her healing spells. One of those healing spells is like a Templar's ultimate healing, so be sure to not let her cast it. Other than that, her overall health pool is also not that high, and your group should have little problems defeating her. Moving on, your group will once again fight a group of Kwama, followed by another threesome group, again with a stronger NPC in the middle, and this time the healer is on the right. You can now make your way down the wooden ramp and clear the big cave from the Dunmer and Kwama trash. Also be aware that two of the Dunmer are healers. As you can guess, this big room looks perfect for a boss fight, and it is. Once you have defeated the trash group, the second boss will enter the area, coming out of the wooden door. If you want to regenerate your attributes, try to get back to the wooden ramp. This should give your group the time needed to do that, as the boss won't aggro if you stand far enough away from him. Foreman Lothan is a mage archetype Dunmer carrying a lightning staff. This encounter features a lot more mechanics than the first one, but most of his special skills are avoidable if you watch out for them. Lothan will cast circle-based poison pools on random group members. If you get targeted, roll dodge or run out of it. From time to time he will also cast a shock AoE, forming beneath himself. Again, step out of the area before the shock damage AoE activates. If you can't make it out in time, you will get knocked back as well as knocked down by the shockwave. As soon as you see Lothan move around and raise his staff, be prepared for his ability to summon adds. He will summon small Kwama that behave like the ones before, so kill them quick and avoid their rundown ability. In this phase, the tank should stay on Lothan while the rest of the group kills the adds. Lothan will use his three mechanics, so the poison pool, the AoE shockwave and Kwama call, as long as he's alive, so your group has to move around a lot. But that's basically all for this fight to notice. Lothan has been dealt with. The door will now open and your group can progress further into the Darkshade Caverns. There you encounter lots of Kwama trash groups again, and after a while your group will reach the Dwemer based area of the dungeon, filled with, correct, more Kwama. Get rid of them and continue till you reach the area where a big Kwama fights three mechanical spiders. This big Kwama warrior is called the Hive Lord and is the third boss of the dungeon. The Hive Lord uses a frontal cone heavy attack which activates pretty fast, so for this fight it is maybe best if the tank stays in block mode as long as possible, facing the boss away from the rest of the group. One mechanic to look out for is his wide, and I mean really wide, AoE slam attack. You can't really miss that one. He will stand still and slam his fists on the ground, and everyone in the big red area will take damage over time. You can survive some time in the circle, but you really have to get out of it nonetheless as soon as possible. The Hive Lord will also summon little Kwama ads from time to time. It's easily visible when you see him hunkering down and digging in the earth. A red circle will then spawn on the ground where the ads will be summoned, so someone from the group can alert the rest when that happens. Also be prepared that during the fight he will jump to a random distant group member, dealing non-lethal damage to the targeted player. As long as you avoid his main wide AoE pound attack, the fight should be manageable for the group. Continue your way down to the water, and on the way to that finish off the 2 natches, the 3 plants on the right side and the 5 critters on the left, before you take on the 4th boss of the dungeon. Your group will now fight the probably easiest boss of Darkshade Caverns, the Cavern Patriarch, a big Natch. The only ability, beside the basic tentacle attack, it will use is a poison spit at a random group member that will form into a circle-based pool filled with poisonous gas. It is really easy to avoid that, and the whole fight shouldn't last very long. With the Natch dealt with, your group can now enter the last area of Darkshade Caverns. Only Dwemer machines await you here. Destroy the trash mob group, and you can then decide if you want to face the final boss of Darkshade Caverns already, or do another mini-boss first. In this guide our group takes on the final boss of the dungeon first, as it's in the way to the mini-boss anyway. When you reach this big area, you can already see the final boss, a big construct named Sentinel of Rukugams in the background. Make sure to destroy the mechanical trash mobs and then prepare to face the boss. The Sentinel activates as soon as the last trash mob is destroyed and will slowly move inside the room, giving your group some breather to regenerate. The Sentinel will auto-aggro after a while and close the distance to your group pretty fast. The Sentinel features a bunch of abilities, but all of them should be predictable if you know what to look out for. The best way to figure out what phase the Sentinel is in is to watch the color of his runes on the armor. At the start of the fight, the runes won't be visible, and also sometimes during the fight when he is not in a special phase, but they will get colored during the fight when he enters a phase. The Sentinel will use a 90-degree cone attack also, so the tank should face the Sentinel away from the group whenever possible and block that attack. As soon as the Sentinel stops, he will start to charge his weapon with lightning and fire lightning pulses out of that weapon, which land most of the time near players and cause AoE shock damage if you are in the area they land, so keep avoiding those areas. The runes on the armor will glow blue in this phase, so you know when it happens when the runes start to glow blue. The runes will turn red when the Sentinel is about to change into the whirlwind attack phase. In this phase, the Sentinel will use a whirlwind attack with his mechanical arms and follow the #1 threat target. Kite the Sentinel around the area while the rest of the group can do range damage on it. Also be sure not to get into the area of his whirlwind while he's moving. When the armor runes change to the color yellow, the Sentinel will summon mechanical spiders that can place a sort of healing area for the Sentinel on the ground. Don't let the Sentinel get into this area, instead destroy the spiders ASAP. The Sentinel will change the phases at random, but again you can spot which one will come if you watch the armor runes change their color. Once your group has the rune phases figured out, the fight becomes more predictable and should sooner or later end with the Sentinel's destruction. You have maybe spotted the metal door where the Sentinel stood at the start of the encounter. This one is only usable in the veteran mode, so you can't pass it in normal. Just turn around and make your way further up to face another mini-boss before you can leave Darkshade Caverns again. At the top of the stairs of the building you can see the mini-boss named Cutting Sphere, still in its closed sphere form. As soon as you get closer and engage the ads that are around, it will open up and come down to join the fight. Make sure the tank takes over the aggro while the rest of the group deals with the ads. The Cutting Sphere has only a moving whirlwind attack, but this one is nasty because there is not so much space to move around. The tank still has to somehow kite the sphere around the area. If you did the final boss before this fight, like we did in this guide, you already know how to handle that whirlwind attack. Alright, that's pretty much all there is to say for the normal version of the Darkshade Caverns dungeon. I hope this guide was helpful to you, and if so, please consider to like this video and or leave a comment. Be sure to also check out our other guides for ESO group dungeons. Our goal is to have a guide for everyone over time, so stay tuned. Take care and bye bye.